Peace family. Back at you again with another video. Hope y'all doing good since the new year is here. The alleged new year, as some would say. But however, I'm glad you can make it back. Man, I've been up quite early. As an entrepreneur, we tend to get up earlier than the average person because there's always something to do. And upon my just kind of scrolling through some things, I actually ran across something that I will discuss today for the topic of discussion for today. Chef Joseph's Kick Sauce for Entrepreneurs channel. Like and subscribe. I won't take credit for this, but I wanted to let you hear what I heard, which will segue into the topic of the conversation for today. Okay? Check this out.
Some people hate you for no reason. It's not because of who you are, but because of what they were told. People believe lie faster than truth, especially when the truth is quiet. They don't know your real spirit, they only know the gossip.
Did y'all catch that? Let's try it again.
Channel
Let's let you listen.
Some people hate you for no reason. It's not because of who you are, but because of what they were told. People believe lie faster than truth, especially when the truth is quiet. They don't know your real spirit, they only know the gossip.
Man, so we're going to stop right there. Wow. Mm, That was a mouthful right there. And we're going to talk about why people dislike you. Like, for what reason do people hate you? As a visionary and as an entrepreneur, just know that you're typically breaking the mold of the traditional way, that people think. That means you're stepping outside the box. And with that, some people, that is, that's not all, but some people have a problem with that. And they start rumors, they start lies about you. And what's sad is most people will believe a lie faster than they will believe the truth. The scripture talks about having itching ears. I always want to listen to something. I always want to hear the latest gossip. And that's very, very, very unfortunate. Because you have good people out here that have been labeled a certain way based on what other people said about them. Now I get it. If the word on the street is somebody is on the negative side of the beam, as Napoleon Hill would say, on the negative side of the beam, as Napoleon Hill would say, that's one thing because you can see everything that's going on with that person. But I'm just talking about just in general, and that's nothing, no shade to that person. They just got their own demons to fight and to go through, But we're talking about people that are good people. Some of you are phenomenal people yourselves, but somehow you on this path to entrepreneurship, to change your life, even if it's not just entrepreneurship, but you're just here to change it, to do the best in your life, to change your life. And because you're doing that, people will make up lies and rumors about you. I get it all the time. I see the strange looks, and it's like, man, it's crazy, you know, because the facial expression tells it all, and you don't have to do absolutely anything to anyone. Just truly be yourself. And I'm telling you, just by that alone, people will hate you for that. I know that people will hate you for having a standard in your life. That's the next thing. If you raise the bar here, to a certain level, that is your bar. That is your that's your standard. And you have lived like, I don't know, 3, 4 years with your standard. And anyone that comes into your circumference or into your space, you tell them straight up, this is my standard. This is what's required. But for some reason, sometimes people want to just test that standard. They want to test that standard to see if are you for real about what you say. I'm going to drop this on you. Once you bend your own or compromise with your own standards, no one will respect you. No one. I have personally dismissed many for challenging my standard. And many are still knocking on the door for a second opportunity. You don't get but one. That's it. So I'm telling you that you must have a standard in your life. Because if you're building business, if you're going anywhere to do something great, or just stepping outside the box, a standard is required. And since there's a standard that's required, don't let anyone compromise that standard at all. Don't let anyone compromise your standard. If you set the bar a certain tone or a certain height, look, man, don't let no one come under that. Because once you allow that once, it's going to keep happening again. And guess what? People will hate you for it because you have a standard for your life. My whole thing is this. If you don't want to have a standard for your life, or let's just say if a person doesn't want to have a standard for their own life, it's okay. Just go over yonder, as the old folks say. Go over yonder, and you just, as my mentor, Mr. Johnson, said, just sit in the field and chew the cud, like the cows chew the cud. You know what I'm saying? Sit over in the field and chew the cud and steady yourself. But the minute you come over into this, playground, there's a standard that's required. Don't ever compromise your standards. And once you set your standard, you need to live by it. As an example, that's the next thing. That's why I definitely will say to any of you to, when you're stepping into the abyss of your own life to build, really take a hard self-inventory to see if you're ready to basically measure up to your goal, what you're trying to do. I'll tell you a true story about me. My first barbershop, I had a barbershop. Actually, I'm actually a master barber, believe it or not. That was my first calling. Got into cutting hair. And what ended up happening was I couldn't find a job one time. And when I moved back to my hometown, I couldn't find a job. I was kind of young. I don't know, 20-something years old. And just could not find work. And really, I didn't have much work experience either. I had a little bit of work experience, but it was just tough to go back to a small town and look for work. And so I went to this barbershop and got a haircut. And then they ended up messing my hair up. And then, so I was kind of upset, but at the same time, that's small stuff. Hair will grow back. You know what I'm saying? I could see if I was going to the prom or something, or going to the club or something. You know what I'm saying? But no, I just said just shave it off. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? But make long story short, I became a licensed barber, and then I eventually went on to open up my own barbershop. And I'll talk to y'all about that too as well. That's another thing as an entrepreneur that I was doing before I got into the food service or restaurant industry, manufacturing, all that kind of stuff. But those were some of my humble beginnings as a barber. But let me tell you what happened. And we're talking about making sure that when you move into your next level, let's just say you want to be a painter, make sure you conquered all your demons. I'm letting you know, because they will show up if you ain't put them on a leash, or better yet, extinguish them. That's the real answer right there. But yeah, so look, I had my first barbershop, right? I actually had three. Yeah, I had three barbershops. But let me tell you about the first two. The first barbershop, I had not conquered my demons. I was in my 20s, 20-something years old, 26, 27, I don't know. But anyway, but I talk about all that in my book as well, and it's in sequence so you can follow everything what I'm saying. But I got my first barbershop, signed the lease and everything, right on the main drag. And I hadn't conquered my demons. But I was telling everybody, hey, man, I got a new barbershop. You know what I'm saying? Why don't y'all come check it out? That's before it was even open. I just wanted people to come to ride to see the building. Yeah, go figure. I should have had it completed before I told them to come. But anyway, that was back then. And no one showed up. And when they didn't show up, I took that as discouragement that maybe I'm not doing the right thing. And because I hadn't conquered my demons, you know what I'm saying? It was like I gave up on my dream. The lease was dissolved and I didn't open up my first barbershop. About a year later, went back to the same town and did the same thing. I found a church who let me use one of the rooms to start my barbershop in. Same exact thing, y'all. I didn't conquer all my demons. And guess what? Here they come. Roof, 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 roof. Big, knocking at the door. Boom, boom. And guess what? I didn't conquer them. I gave up on the dream twice. But on the third go around, as some would say 3 times is a charm. On that third go around, I nailed it. Because I had to really look in the mirror at my demons and realize why I didn't succeed in the first 2 ventures. And thus my barbershop was born for many, about 7, 8 years maybe, and until I outgrew and went into the hot sauce business. But ChefJoseph'sKickSauce.com, that's the next thing. So check the website out, consultations and everything. Okay. So I'm saying that to say that when you move into your realm, make sure that you conquered all your demons. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't want to spend money and get involved in your projects, and then you turn around and can't complete it because you have not conquered self. You know, so but just know when, and I just want to share that story with you. So moving into the next, as we're speaking here, just know that when you're doing something great, you have to have a standard for yourself. Because see, I didn't have a standard for myself. See what I'm saying? The first 2 barbershops, I should have had a standard for myself. And that first standard should have been checking all my demons at the gate. See what I'm saying? But I didn't do that. You know what I'm saying? So just make sure that you have took a thorough inventory of where you are in your life. You know what I'm saying? And just know that when you do something great, people will hate you just for who you are. You know, they will make rumors about you. I heard rumors about me that were totally false. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, these people don't even know me. How in the world is somebody going to say anything like that about someone you don't even know? Oh, I guess I get it. They heard something. What is hearsay? Let me tell y'all another thing too. This is a little personal testimony. For at least 15 years, I used to fight. I had a personal battle going on. And in my entrepreneur world, you know, trying to get on top, you know. And I used to worry about what people thought about me. And that started actually from my child's mother, who basically, and all this is documented and stuff like that. But I can tell you that because she had put me down so much, I had gave up on myself. I didn't even feel like I wanted to even live because her tongue, her words had power over me. So yes, I constantly thought about what people thought about me, really because of her. You know, and I fought that battle for 15 years. But you know what? I'm trying to think where I got that lesson from. But the lesson came is that I think it's probably reading or something like that. But I come to learn that you can have $1 in your pocket and be homeless in a shelter, or you can have $100 million with a Ferrari. People still gonna have something to say about you. They still gonna have something to say. So you can't let what people say, think about you. You can't let that phase you. But at the same time, there's something called constructive criticism, and you have to be willing to accept constructive criticism. Matter of fact, it was a white guy gave me some constructive criticism the other day. Hey man, do you think you know, I was just kind of looking at something if you're open to it, and I was like, guess what? It wasn't any pride. I was like, sure. What is it? And he told me about how I should strategically align some particular wording, even though I know what I was doing. But from a customer's perspective, it was like, hey, man, you might want to consider this. And guess what? No pride. I said, you know what? I will consider that. Saying that to say to some of you, let go of the pride. There's no such thing as pride. I mean, If someone is genuinely trying to help you and give you good wisdom and insight on something, that's how you grow. See what I'm saying? So I just want to tell you all that as well. So, but anyway, just know that if you're doing something great, do not expect to be liked by most. I'm not saying all, but by most, because a lot of people don't want to see you break that mold. They don't. And I know I broke that mold many years ago. You know what I'm saying? What my child's mother said, just things like that, which to this day kept me from my own child, for real. But just know the truth is here. You know what I'm saying? And then that's another thing too. Success will outrun a rumor. Success and how God has blessed you can outbeat any rumor what anybody say about you. Yeah, some things may be true about you. Yeah, he without sin cast the first stone. Or she without sin cast the first stone. See what I'm saying? But the thing is, that's many, 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 many men. You know how many moons and sunsets happen? You know what I'm saying? And this person still lived in the past. On yesteryear. I don't know how many of y'all remember that word, yesteryear. You know, and it was so amazing because I've so outgrown and outlived what the projection was for my life. Whole different person. But I am so thankful for those times that it developed me into who I am today as an entrepreneur. So anyway, in closing, I got to get on with my day today. Just know when you're doing great things, do not expect to be liked. Do not expect people to approve. Follow what the Spirit gave you to do. That's the next thing. Because if you live a life, if you continue to ask people for their opinions, here we go. Listen real carefully. If you continue to live and ask people for their opinions about your life, you will live the life that they constructed for you. See what I'm saying? So just know He gave you something for you to do. And just know when you do that, the average person, you're gonna create some waves here. And some people not gonna like it. They're gonna look at you funny. See what I'm saying? But you can't let that shake you. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, nice speaking with you today. Um, Glad to know that y'all checking it out. You know, the videos and stuff. I see a lot of the views are increasing and stuff like that. But thank you for your time. Definitely continue with your journey. Do not let people's negativity and their attitudes and stuff stop you, because you only have one life. And either, like Morgan Freeman said at the end of the Shawshank Redemption movie, either get busy living or get busy dying. Peace.